Dude, I was so impressed with everything. I don't like social media because it's just,
Sure.
you know, it's
I'm not a fan either.
it's like, what are we doing?
Yep.
But sometimes you find gold in it, and you have been the guy who's been providing that. Like, living in Boston, the Scots are here, World Cup, and look
Yep.
at you. I mean, you've been living the life lately.
Yeah, there was like a good, I guess, just about 2 weeks of it being pretty crazy.
No
And
kidding.
I only got wind of it probably 2 weeks before. I didn't realize, like, I knew that we had the World Cup. That's all I knew. I didn't realize it was going to be in Gillette or not, or that Scotland had made it, anything like that.
Yep.
And then, if you know the White Bull Tavern, I was doing comedy there for Hideout Comedy, and I happened to mention, I have like a couple of bits about being a bagpiper.
Right. Yeah.
So I did them, and the owner happened to be in the room, and he was like, "Are you really a bagpiper?" I was like, "Yes, I am. That's not just a joke." And he's like, "Okay," because I don't know if you know this, and he told me, he's like, there's going to be roughly, they estimated 60,000 Scottish people coming to the area, and he said about 30,000 of them had tickets to the game Scotland versus Haiti.
Yeah.
Which was the first game they played. He's like, the other 30,000 are just going to be out. Like, they just want to experience it, even though they didn't have enough, they didn't have the budget or whatever to buy a ticket. So he's like, the whole city and outskirts, everything is going to be filled with Scottish people who are drinking.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'd love to have a bagpiper just outside, just for the fun of it, for a couple of hours, just play on and off. And, and so I was like, sure, yeah, exchange numbers. Didn't hear anything about it for a while. And then the next big event was another friend of mine, who's a liquor rep, an old colleague of his, worked for a different company that was representing Tennent's, which is the biggest beer in Scotland, bar none.
Okay.
So they were bringing it into like 38 additional taps. I think it was on one tap in Boston before, in JP at the Haven, which is the one Scottish restaurant in the area.
Okay.
And so it was 38 different taps. So he was looking for a bagpiper, and my friend said, he's complaining. He's saying everyone's raking him over the coals, like charging, which money that like I've never charged. I was like, whoa, that's how much they're asking for.
Yeah.
And so I had what I think is a more reasonable bid, but still way more than I ever charged.
Yeah.
So that was the first actual gig that came up, was working for Tennent's. I had a Tennent's t-shirt on, and me and this guy went around and passed out t-shirts and played at 8 different Irish bars in the Faneuil Hall area. And that immediately got some coverage. There was like BBC Scotland did a small piece just interviewing some of the Scots that were there about like how they felt about America and all this and what the experience was like. And they, had a lot of close-ups on me, and it was just like on the BBC Scotland, which was cool.
That is awesome, man. So you made national television in another nation.
Yep.
And I mean, we can get into it later, but like you got a lot of exposure with some celebrities and athletes and all kinds of stuff. But just the 60,000 Scots were here.
60,000, yeah.
I didn't realize it was that many. I mean, I knew it was a lot, but and also I didn't know that half of them didn't even have tickets.
Yeah.
They were just coming for the whole experience and camaraderie of being in another country. Let's go travel.
Yep.
Let's go with the Tartan Army.
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
And we'll have a great time watching the games in the pubs.
Yep. Yeah, just
with our friends.
Yeah. Let's just be close to where it's happening. Even if we can't be there, let's be there together, close.
Which is great.
Celebrate.
It's kind of like if you couldn't get Red Sox tickets, go into the Cask and Flagon and watch it in there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same thing. Yeah,
You know?
Just on a big scale. Yeah, crazy.
Huge.
So crazy. Yeah, and the interesting thing you mentioned, there was a few different events that all happened. All of them were unrelated. None of them led to the other.
Oh, huh?
Isn't that strange? Like,
we're an adventure.
Yeah, it was all separate things that there was like the playing for Tennent's. That was just because I had a friend who happened to know I was a piper.
Mm-hmm.
I played for White Bull for a few hours the Wednesday, was it last Wednesday or a week ago yesterday? So that was, 2 hours in front of them. But then I ended up staying in Faneuil Hall because everyone wanted a photo and wanted me to play. So I was just walking around playing. Scottish people wanted to hear the national anthem, all that stuff. That gig was completely separate from big one.
Their national anthem or yours?
Their national anthem.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Flower of Scotland. Yeah, that's the one that they almost broke the sound barrier singing in the stadium, if you saw that clip.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a different gig, which was fun. That was a long night, but really great. Got to see what their fans are really like. But anyway, before I go into any of that too deep, the other thing you referenced with the athletes, completely separate, had nothing to do with those. It's not like it. So it was a strange thing how all these things kind of fell into my lap at the same time.
Yeah. So Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman.
Yes.
Jumping in on the bandwagon and the fun, wearing the kilts and all that stuff. I mean, Edelman sounds German, and Gronkowski sounds like probably Polish,
probably. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know how much Scottish they had in them.
Probably
so,
not much.
So
Yeah.
they're just having fun. They're taking it in and they're participating. How did that happen? How did they and you cross paths?
I'm not sure how their like end of the event got organized. It was through Fox Sports, so I wonder if that was some producer's idea. Like, wouldn't it be fun if we got you guys in kilts? And they were like, yeah, sure. But the way I got brought into it was, a lot of mutual comedy friends. A lot of them are actors, so they're involved in Boston casting. They always see what's coming up on Boston casting on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got within a few minutes, 3 different comedy friends sent me this flyer saying like bagpiper needed. And the best part is they had some picture of someone. There's bagpipes all over Europe that are not the Scottish bagpipes. Very different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just some guy. I did some research. It's a type of like obscure Italian bagpipe. Not wearing a kilt. He's got all like very, I don't know what you call it, like farmland Italian farmer garb on.
Okay.
I was like, that's funny that they like Googled it and that's the picture they picked of the million pictures of guys in kilts.
Not an appropriate representation, right?
Yeah, probably some like intern or something that just had to do it.
That's
so
funny.
yeah, they sent it to me, and that was going to be for Friday, and I already worked out with the owner of the White Bull. Scotland was playing Morocco that night.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, why don't I come and play again? And he was like, yeah, that'd be great. So I was like, I don't know if I can make it. It doesn't say the time on the flyer, and I don't want to, maybe if I did get it. And then I'm like, oh, psych, I can't do it. And I had my day job. So, but one of the comics, do we name drop comics?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just because he's a friend.
I mean, it's stand-up scuttlebutt. Every
course.
week I got a new one of you. We'll probably, whoever you name drop, we'll probably have them on if we haven't already.
Sure. Well, I'll give everyone credit. It was Joe Buckley hit me up first.
Yep.
Then my friend Paul Corwin. Both of them were like, hey, you should do this, you should do this. And then Mike Katrobis was the last one.
Yep.
And he kind of knows some people at Boston Casting. He said, hey, I just gave him a heads up that you're going to be putting in. So I was like, well, I have to now.
Sure.
So luckily I had all this social media from the night before at White Bull, which was really crazy. It was 8 hours of me playing in Faneuil Hall and people dancing and all this. Someone put a road cone on a little girl. Like, can I put a cone on you? The Scottish girl. So like I played with a cone on my head. It was great.
Oh, you should have been like, no, get out of here.
Yeah. What are you doing here? That's illegal around here. Yeah. So I had all that. And so I ended up getting it. I got a call like within a half hour or something. And she's like, this never happens, but we loved it. So
yeah,
you got the job. They told me where to be, but they didn't tell me what it was. It did say in the ad, like some Fox Sport event. So I figured it was going to be some man on the street going like, hey, we're here with Bagpiper and blah, 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 So I get to this place and I can't get in. It's like a residential building.
Yeah.
And finally, someone happened to be coming outside, a guy from Fox. I don't think he wasn't there to get me. I was just sitting outside with no contact, no doorbell.
Yeah.
So luckily, he happened to walk in, and I was like, oh, okay, great. So he's like, all right, it's upstairs. We're going up an elevator. And I was like, what are we doing anyway? Do you guys have a set in this building or something? And he said, no, this is Julian Edelman's apartment.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like,
really?
So I found out like when we were almost all the way up. And then a few seconds later, we walk in, and there's Edelman, like, just in, a tank top and his shorts and sandals. And he comes over and he's like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Julian. And I was like,
I know who you are.
Yeah. Oh, nice to meet you. Who? What's your name? Julian?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they told me like, yeah, Gronk's coming in a little bit. So we're just going to hang out on the roof. You guys chill out and have a sandwich and water. What
You
are
should
you
be
going
like Gronk who? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Is
who
that
these
short for
people-
something? Yeah. So then they told me it was going to be live. And
Wow.
that's when I was kind of like starting to shit my pants a little bit because
Were you a little starstruck by it, or were you like, hey man, we're kind of equals on this plane for tonight in this moment?
I knew that I was more of like a prop or a set piece. Like it's not about me or talking to me. I was literally just there to be the background. Like, hey, there's a bagpiper. Oh, and they're in kilts. That was literally.
I'd upgrade you to accessory.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I would say
I'll
you're a
take it.
part. You're
I was
good. You're part
accessory.
of it. Like let them. It's their thing, but.
Sure, yeah.
You're the centerpiece.
Sure.
I'd even upgrade you to a centerpiece.
Ooh, centerpiece. That's better an accessory because every other time I've been an accessory, it was to something bad.
Right.
But yeah. So I wasn't really too starstruck. I'm the worst Boston sports fan of all time. I'm not like a sports nut.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I wasn't like, I understood the gravity of everything and how lucky I was to get the job and all that.
Yeah.
And they were very cool. So I was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
But usually I don't fall into that too much when I meet the few times I have met someone famous. I usually am more worried about them and not coming off like some fanboy and bogging. So I just try to be as normal as I can.
Yep.
And hopefully I was. Yeah. So it was live, which was nerve wracking because it's very rare when you're a professional like player who knows what you're doing. you shouldn't have a critical failure of the bagpipe, but it can happen. And when it happens, like you have to take them apart and fix something. I'm like, that would have been a disaster.
When you say critical failure,
Yes.
what are we talking about?
Bagpipes is a reed instrument. There's reeds in it. It's a woodwind, technically.
Okay.
And there's the big pipes on your shoulder, and then there's the one you hold in front of you and you play the music on.
Yep.
And those just make the background noise, the ones on your shoulder.
Yep.
So they have a reed that's just stuck in there, and it's kind of wedged in, and it's just suspended. And if somehow it gets knocked loose, you know, it's like trying to fill up a colander. Like you can't make a sound out of it. So, and that hasn't happened to me since like I was a kid. One of the first times I performed was in high school at the talent show in front of the entire school, and I was like, I'm the bagpiper, and then poof, nothing. Had to get off stage, put up another act. Happened twice, and then when it finally worked, the whole school was like, yeah, and I was like a hero for a little while. But probably I can't even remember. It's been probably more than 2 decades since that's happened. But in my head, I'm like, this is gonna be the one time. Live TV, and they're just gonna be like, hell did we pay you? We're not paying you.
Yeah, right.
And you look like an idiot. But luckily everything went fine.
Yep.
Yeah, and once I was playing, it was cool. The other thing that was funny, and you can't see it in the recording, but I have some behind the scenes photos I'm meaning to post. I can show you.
Yep.
We're like on the top of this brownstone, and where they have us standing on something sort of like the height of this little platform we're on here. So the railing, which would normally be like, you know, the middle of my back, was now exactly the middle of my butt, like exact balance point to just tip me over. If it was,
it's no longer OSHA compliant.
Yeah.
Now it's a hazard.
Yeah, and
right.
I'm not like I'm not in love with heights.
Yeah.
You look over and you're like, whoa, that's
Commonwealth Ave, you know, or whatever.
That's a lethal fall, and and it's windy, and the guy who's doing the blocking, telling us where to stand when we're getting warmed up, and you know, Gronk and Edelman are up there with me with their microphones. He's like, all right, Matt, you got to just move a little to the right and just a little more back. And it kept going back. And he goes, I think your butt has to literally be touching the railing. And I was like, no. So there's a bunch of photos of me, like, it looks like I'm leaning casually, but I'm really like, gripping the railing.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Fighting off vertigo.
Yeah. I'm just imagining like what a bagpipe would sound when it hit the ground, like after 100-foot drop. That would have at least been the funny part. Just yeah.
It's like it's taking forever. There's a lot of air in that thing.
Perfect cartoon moment. Yeah. So there's a couple of videos where like I kind of look green almost if you look close enough into my face. It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fun experience. And they were cool right after. They were like, let's get some pictures. And Matt, you should be in the middle of us. So like, you know, looks cooler for you and everything. And yeah, it's interesting. And Gronk is like,
oh God,
so
huge,
huge,
6'8" or something.
Something like that. Yeah. And Edelman's like about my height. So it was kind of,
yeah.
He's still a very impressive guy.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, it was wild experience. And the night before, I had no idea I was going to get the job or that I was going to. Luckily, my work was cool. I was like, hey, I have something I have to do today. All my loose ends are tied up. I'm putting in for PTO. I'm not showing up. And they're like, okay, go do it. So
that's funny. So, wow, what a flex. You're like, hey, Edelman, Gronk, sorry, but this bagpiper's got to scram. You know?
Yeah.
I got other things to do.
Yeah.
Can't hang out. That's
so
funny.
Yeah, it was very fun though. And
that
unexpected.
Is great.
Yeah.
So you've been to Edelman's house. I didn't know he had a place here still. I'm glad that he does. That's good to hear that he's you know, I mean, unlike you, I'm a super big fan.
Yeah, that's great.
And
that's why I feel so undeserving. I'm like the last person who should.
No, I'm happy for you. You are deserving because you filled the requirements of the job.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be a bigger fan, but what are they gonna do with me? Nothing. You know?
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, but Edelman, I remember we were on the highway going to a Bruins game, and I was on the Pike in Boston. We saw this Porsche 911. Blacked out windows, and I won't say the license plate number, but it was it was football related, and so we were connecting the dots, and we did a little Googling, and it was Edelman's car.
No kidding, really?
Yeah, he has a sweet Porsche.
I bet, yeah,
or did. Cool. I don't know. He probably gets a new one every year.
Yeah, swap them out once in a while.
Yeah,
get bored of them.
That's awesome. So, I guess it goes without saying, this was the pinnacle of your bagpiping career. Like, how do you match this?
Yeah, I guess for like the public eye, it is. For like a lot of bagpiping, for serious bagpipers, if I can use a silly term like that.
No, let's see.
It's nothing to do with what people think. It's not parades. It's not Scotland the Brave or Amazing Grace. That's all kind of like, if you're a real player of real Scottish music, that's all kind of like chopsticks on the piano. You know,
okay.
Fun, sounds good for everyone. The average public probably doesn't want to or wouldn't enjoy like real hardcore Scottish music very much. You know, it's like listening to any instrumental song of an instrument you don't know much about.
I hear you.
Some dork who loves it and lives it is like, oh, did you hear all that? And you're like, it all sounds the same to me. But so there's like, you know, moments competing with my band in Scotland and stuff that were like a big deal. So like from my nerdy bagpipe side with the bagpipe community, there's those moments that are the biggest moments for my I guess kind of exposure. It's almost more related to comedy, this kind of thing, because it's like a big social media thing, you know. Definitely the biggest photo op I've ever had by a long shot.
Oh, sure.
Massive.
And now you were locked in and immortalized in the memories and the keepsakes of 60,000 Scots who came to America. Were like, I mean, how welcoming is it to come to America and have a guy like you who's like, dude, we love your culture and you know, we share it. I mean, it's America. It's a melting pot. Look, I'm here. I'm an American. I mean, you have Scottish background.
Yeah.
So what's explain that.
On my father's side. So I'm a McArthur. That's what this is as well. This is the McArthur Tartan. That side of the family Scottish. And the Scots I found when you meet them, you know, and they realized I wasn't Scottish pretty quick once I talked to them. They were really excited about the fact that I was doing it. And they were all like, are you Scottish American? And I'd say, yeah. And they'd be like, that's great. I always don't want to be that American who's like, because I see other people, they're always like, do you guys like Braveheart? And like all this stuff.
Yeah,
and they're probably like, great, you know. So, you know.
I hated it. Shitty movie.
Yeah. And all this stuff. Like
everyone loves Braveheart.
Yeah, they just ask those questions like, do you eat haggis every day? And they're just like, we're normal people, dude. You know?
Yeah, they're like, all right, that's all I know about Scotland. No more questions.
Exactly.
Like if you're asking those level questions.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So the Scots that I met were all really cool. And like, you know, if they requested a song, they, you know, usually it was some, you know, Flower of Scotland's the national anthem, or Scotland the Brave, which is the one that everyone knows.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. They'd have a couple other ones that it was cool to hear they knew that the average American would never know. But you play something for them, they were like so happy. Or every time you did the national anthem, the entire however many hundred people around the area shot stop and sing and like chant it the whole time.
It's almost like you're the Pied Piper that just, you know, like it's you put everyone in like there's like a, you know, those hypnotists that can say, when I say this word, you're gonna, you know, it's like Matt McArthur, when he plays the pipes, every Scot is gonna stop what they're doing, turn their heads and just be like, we're doing this.
There was someone who, a Scottish guy, I don't know if the girl I think he was trying to impress was Scottish or not, but he's like, see that lady over there? She loves, I didn't realize Scottish people love Country Roads by John Denver.
I think it's become a international hit.
I've heard that from some people like, oh, if you do that for the Germans, they'll flip out. And I guess a lot of Irish people like it too. I had no idea.
Good.
But he was like, can you play Country Roads? And in my head, I'm like, I don't even know if you can play it on the pipes. We only have 9 notes. So a lot of times people are like, can you play this? I'm like, I actually physically cannot do it on this instrument.
Wow.
It's very limited. That's kind of why it developed the way. A lot of the music is kind of unique because it's got a lot of restrictions.
Interesting. So the bandwidth there, the it's not that broad.
Nope. It's like 1 octave. There's no, I don't know if you're a music guy or not, but
I'm not.
It's only 9 notes. And there's no like flats, so like the black keys in the piano, that could be like the in-between notes. We don't have those really, you know, so it's just a very limited. And so he asked if I could play Country Roads, and I was like, I don't know if it can be done. I'll think about it. He's like, oh, just give it a go. And I was
give it a go.
And I was like, I literally have to. I won't be able to just do it. And he's like, okay, well, if you can. And he walked away. And probably within 2 or 3 minutes, I was thinking while talking to other people, I'm like, and I was like, I think I got it. So I went over to him. I was like, I think I can do it. He's like, you can. Runs over. There's some clip of it that I was able to repost, but it's like the 5th swipe on somebody else's post, and I can't like repost just my part. Because I wish people could have seen that, because the whole crowd is singing the chorus, and then he like comes over and high fives me and then like hugs me, and like he was so happy just because I did that like silly little one, just the chorus of Country Roads, you know.
That's great.
Such a fun experience.
Was that a Scottish guy who
he was a Scottish guy who asked for it. Yep.
Did anyone ever ask you to play the AC/DC hit? How many times does that get annoying? Like, is that like one of those overdone things? Like Freebird? Like, is it kind of? Is it Freebird for a bagpiper?
People do ask for Freebird too, and I'm like, this. No, that does not work.
Okay.
People will ask for A Long Way to the Top.
Yep.
And most of the time, the bagpipes are just playing like 3 notes in the background. It just sounds really silly if I just go da da dee.
If you don't have the power chord, there's the guitar.
It's silly.
It is, yeah.
And the other one is Thunderstruck, which can be played on the bagpipes, but it's. I guess I could do some like hacky version, but to really do it justice, it's incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm not quite, I hope to get there, but right now I'm not in the shape to play it. So a few people like Thunderstruck, and I'd be like, not happening. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Excuse me. So before we started recording, you were talking about being in shape, and you only had like 2 weeks to prepare and all that stuff. Explain a little bit more about the I guess the cardio endurance that's required.
Sure.
Right? And The abdominal work. That's because it's not. It's a full body workout. It seems like to play
pretty
that
close to it. Yeah, it depends on you. You can make them easier or harder depending on the reed you have and such. But the reeds I was playing for most of those where I realized after I'm like, this is too hard. Like I was working very hard. It sounded good though. Sometimes like bigger reeds are louder and have like a nicer, richer sound.
Okay.
But pretty much the physical thing that's going on is people always think it's wind. And like I know people who are like, pack-a-day smokers that could still play.
Oh.
Probably not a good idea. But it's more about like the power you're able to and the pressure you can keep with your mouth. So it's like embouchure, you'd call it on most instruments, trumpet and stuff. All those people have to build up those muscles because you can't play very long. That just gets too sore and you can't keep the seal
what
tight.
gets sore? Your cheeks?
They're kind of like your frowning muscles. Those
okay.
there.
Yep.
So for pipes, it's very much that. You have it's called the blow pipe or the blow stick, depending on what you call it. That's the part you blow into. It just brings the air into the bag, and then the air goes to the other pipes and makes them all make sound. The melody pipe, we call it the chanter. The chanter, that's the part you're playing and actually playing the tunes on. That reed in particular takes a lot of pressure to sound.
Okay.
So between your arm squeezing and the blowing, you have to achieve a certain pressure to make it make sound. But it sounds even better if you get the pressure up even more, a good amount.
Yeah.
So you'll find that if you were not in piping shape, like I wasn't a few months back, and I was playing for a while, I noticed I was sore, like my left trap, like my arm and this side of my body would be sore.
Yeah.
And then your mouth for sure. And then your abs, because a lot of times when you're trying to, blow pretty hard, you're flexing. And if I had a properly set up bagpipe that was like, that I had spent more time thinking about it, that you can play them for hours if you're in shape, This one I could, or the one I was playing the other night, I could not do that with. But it was good. But I was good enough, at the time to play for 5 or 10 minutes at a time and
that's great.
take breaks. Yeah. So still exhausted. I felt like I got hit by a truck after Friday, like played for like 8-ish hours. And the next day I was like, oh, feel hungover.
Need pests gone? Call the team that's been licensed to kill bugs for over 40 years. At APC Pest and Termite Control, they've seen it all. Ants, mice, termites, wasps, you name it, they have a specialist ready for the mission. APC sends a member of their SWAT team to handle any problem. Whether pests are crawling, flying, nesting, or plotting their next move, APC has the experience, equipment, and expertise to get the job done right. They're local, they're professional, and they're experienced. So if pests have declared war on your home, call APC Pest and Termite Control. Knocking them dead since 1981. Is this moment over?
I think so.
Or you're over the hill now, right? There's still I don't think like bagpipes are great. It's so fun. We still, now the English are here.
Yep.
I mean, there's people are always, you'll probably still find a demand for it, right?
Possibly. And I guess it just depends how much I put myself out there.
Yeah.
This happened last night. I was playing at the Haven in Jamaica Plain just because I didn't know what else to do. And I was like, I want to go hang out in a kilt and see if they want a piper. And a buddy of mine came too. It was hectic. That was the last. Scotland could have stuck around if they did better in the game. There was a chance they came back to Gillette. Did not go that way, unfortunately. So that was really the last hurrah. And there were some Scots there, so it was still fun. But the owner was like, yeah, at halftime play a little bit, and then I play a little bit after. It was fun. And I went back home after just to see a friend who was out, and I was in the kilt, and I was like, I hope you don't mind. I'm in a kilt. Like, I don't think anyone at the bar will care. And he's like, no, that's great. And ended up, somebody just was some drunk guy who was very nice was like, you got to play the bagpipes. You really have them? I'm like, they're in the car. But yeah. So I finally was like, fine, if the bar is cool. And I played it, and immediately, like, the whole bar went nuts. And there wasn't Scottish people there.
Yeah.
And then some young woman came up to me who was very cool about it. She's like, I loved it so much. She's like, will you play at my wedding in January?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
sure. It's like,
my brother, his wedding, the bagpiper led them on. And that was cool.
That's great.
What was also cool was watching my now sister-in-law lose her shit because the bagpiper was 45 minutes behind, caught in traffic. And I was like, oh, that's not what you want to do to a bride right before.
No kidding.
It's like, where are you? I'm on the pike. I'm like, well.
That's tough.
But I was at, where was it? The Ironside Grill and Pub in Charlestown. I lived across the street at the time. And so that was like the frequented watering hole.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, it was winter time, and it was just a random like Thursday night, and it was like 3/4 full.
Yep.
Not overpacked but not empty, and you could hear off in the distance just bagpipes.
Yep.
and it got closer, and it got closer, and it got closer, and people started going like, "What's going on?" You could look out the windows, and there's like 10 of you guys walking together, all in your getup, and the door opens, and they came in, and they all just lined up in a formation of some sort, and just everyone stopped what they were doing. I mean, it was like it was a special treat. It's like, no one's ever said, "Hey, can you turn those pipes down?" No one's ever said that. Yeah. No one's ever said, "Not here, not now." No one. You guys could. It would be a fun social experiment to be like, where can you get away with playing bagpipes? I bet you could walk through a funeral procession and everyone would be like, "In the name of the Father and the Son." Holy shit, that's awesome!
It's a spectacle. Yeah, once in a while, some people don't like it, but you could just. But usually they're quiet. You just see their face like, "Oh, this is happening." It's like,
no kidding.
Yeah, I've heard some people be like, "Oh, I can't stand those things." They'll say it to your face. I'm like, "Really?"
Oh, well, they are buzzkills.
Yeah, pretty bad.
That is a buzzkill. I just saw a clip on Instagram of an Airbnb in the suburbs.
Yep.
And it was like just a house in a residential neighborhood like this one. And it was just consumed by, rented out by a bunch of Scots. And they started their bagpiping every day at 7 in the morning.
Yep, I did see
that.
And
all the neighbors weren't fired up. They were out recording it like, "Can you believe 7 a.m.?" And it's like laugh emoji. Yep. Like, I would be pumped if that was my wake up call for a week. I would be so happy for that.
Get you out of bed too.
It does. Yeah, of course. You're in a band, are you? Or
I'm not. I was. It's funny because like my band's logo was all over the pipes I was playing the other side. This was kind of cool. The band disbanded many years ago. I think 2013 they merged with another band and it kind of fell apart. But I played with a band for when I was in my teens for several years, kind of into like, my early 20s. Yeah. Then I stopped for a long time, then rejoined the band, and at that point, the band I had been playing with was this kind of world-class band at that point. We were very good back in the day, but really talented friend of mine, this guy, Andrew Douglas, really kind of, I don't know, famous in the bagpipe world as just kind of a world-class player and kind of mind about bagpiping. Wow. He had we were very good friends, but he had taken the band over and brought it to the top. There's tiers in bagpipe bands. If you compete, and it's 5 through 1. Grade 5 is your, average pipe band that you see around in a parade. Just a bunch of people who get together and play. If you have a group of people, you're a grade 5 band technically if you register.
Yep.
And if you win a certain amount of competitions, you can get to grade 4. There's a lot of grade 4 bands, and there can be some perfectly good grade 4 bands, but it's not like a high level thing. And then grade 3, you're starting to get serious. Grade 2 are very serious musicians. Grade 1 is like pro league kind of stuff. So there was 2 grade 1 bands in the United States. That was it. And there's only about 40 in the world. So there was one in LA, which was I was not going to play with that band, and the other one was in Albany. So it was a short enough drive that I was like, well, it's 3 hours. Drive 3 hours, practice for 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday, drive 3 hours back. That was my life for a long time in my late 20s, Yeah, and so that's when we went to Scotland. And
you were in the grade 1 band?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
you got to be shitting me.
Yeah, back for this was.
What was the name of the band? Do you want to say the name?
It was Oran Moore, which is a Scottish Gaelic phrase that means like great sound.
Is that
like,
still the name of it? Are
they disbanded a long time ago. Everyone went off to their. A lot of those people are all in still high level bands, but I don't know what the grade 1 circuit's like in the U.S. If there is even a grade 1 band, there might be. I'm not sure.
So that begs the question: if you were that good at something, like you're the elite, right? You're like, if the Boston Symphony Orchestra had a bagpiper, you could be the bagpiper. I mean, you're at that level. You're one of 2 bands in the country.
Yeah.
Why would you let that go? What got you out of it?
Out of the band?
In that level, like.
Interestingly enough, I am a good player, but I was kind of like hanging on by the seat of my pants with the band. I was good enough to be there, and I played on the world stage with them, and we competed against we made it into the finals of the world championships once. So it was cool. That's kind of when you were mentioning, like, is this the biggest part of your career? For me, that was like my actual highlight.
Yeah.
But that's more like the nerdy bagpipe side of it.
Gotcha.
But when I was young, I was kind of like this hot shit new soloist for where I was at, and I was winning a ton, and I moved up. There's solo ranks too. 4 through professional, 4, 3, 2, 1 professional.
Yeah.
And so grade 4, I was like, couldn't be beaten as a kid. It was my first year. I didn't know I was good until the first couple I won. I was like, well, I guess I'm okay.
So you had some natural abilities.
And great teachers. And, I was around just.
A little Scottish heritage. That might be in your blood.
Yeah. Apparently, I found out after I started playing that the McArthurs, there were like a family of McArthur pipers that were like legendary in the 16 and 1700s.
Yeah. They only invented the thing.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So, So, but at some point, I think maybe when I started playing with Oren Moore when I was younger, and we were a good grade 2 band at the time, I think I hopped on too quick, and just to keep up instead of just naturally getting better and practicing, which I was also developing bad habits to try to stay along.
Yeah.
All these kind of, it's like when someone messes up their golf swing
Yeah.
and then they just can't fix it.
Yeah.
That had happened to my hands. So I was still good enough to compete for a while, and I moved up from grade 3 to grade 2, and I did okay in grade 2.
Yeah.
But I noticed, and other people were like, yeah, what's happening? And the best players in the world were still like, not quite sure what's going on, you know? And so at that point, I kind of fell out of it. And then I decided I'm going to fix this damn thing. I rejoined the band. 2010, I started playing. 2011, I joined the band. We went higher than I ever thought I'd go. And I got better in a lot of ways, but some of the real problems I had just got worse and worse. So it doesn't matter as much to the public because you don't know what the music's playing. And I'm playing the easier stuff. But like the real hard competitive music got difficult for me to get through in a reasonable way, in a way that I was happy with. So I fell out of it again for a long time. I always taught lessons, so that kept me going a little bit. But yeah, not long ago, I was like, I'm relearning from scratch. Like I'm not,
I got you.
I'm not 15 anymore. I'm like, 42. And I'm like, shoot, I was this, half my life's gone. And I wanted to spend it doing this. And I barely spent it in the last, 13 years doing this, or 15 years. So I've been relearning from scratch, and it's going extremely well. Yeah. So it feels like completely different than I used to play. I'm not there yet where I can just do it naturally, but I think within months I will be. So I think next year I'm going to hit the solo competition circuit again. And
I was just going to ask you so now that you're back in, like, this is a revival. This was a sign. Things just lined up perfectly.
Literally.
Like, what if Scotland was in Toronto? Like, this wouldn't have happened for you.
Not at all. Yeah.
A lot of things had to fall into place, and you were like, you rose to the occasion. I mean, it's really awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
What would you say is like your foreseeable goals for this? You want to get back into it, do a competition? You want to get back in a band, or do a solo?
I think I'd be doing more solo competitions, because those are like a daytime. You go to these like Scottish Highland Games and festivals, and they have bagpipe contests. Sure. In the daytime, and that wouldn't be like a burden on my comedy. Yeah. Because I don't want to be like, I have to go to this and stay for 3 days and miss a whole weekend that I should be working as a comedian, Yep. So at the moment, the solo route is kind of what I want to do for piping. And then, the social media stuff, a lot of people are like, you're going to blow up and make it big. And I'm like, we'll see what I can do. But realistically to me, I'm like, I wasn't even tagged in any of these posts. Just everyone was tagging me like, hey, we saw you on something, and I reposted it. But it's not like the comments are like, we love the bagpiper, more him. I do have some material I wrote about the experience. Oh, sure. And it's gone well the few times I've done it. So I'm thinking I could do a reel and pop in the picture of me and Edelman and talk about that experience, and
absolutely,
and see if I can get some traction with that.
Yeah. Wait for a rainy day to just start
throwing some content
editing and cutting up stuff. Yeah. Did you ever go up to the Highland Games up in New Hampshire? Those are big.
I've only missed them twice, I think, since 1998. One was during COVID, and 1 year I missed them for some reason. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, every other time I've been.
Yeah, I have not been up there, but I'm from New Hampshire, and so I'm very familiar with it, and it looks like a great time. It's kind of like on the list of things to do.
Worth going. Yeah, so much fun.
Is there I know like Boston, you think of Boston, like everyone's, a lot of Irish people.
For sure.
How many Scottish people are in here? Is that like a respectable second in as far as the immigration or
I would guess
history?
Not. No? Where I'm from, probably the reason I am from there is Quincy Point is the neighborhood. Apparently, historically had a lot of Scots there. Yeah. So, and that's why my family was there, presumably. Actually, definitely. And I think a lot of that is because there's a big shipbuilding culture, like in Glasgow. Apparently, that was a big part of the industry. So a lot of people would come over and they'd go to like port cities. So Quincy used to have a shipyard. Sure. A lot of ships in World War I. Yeah. And World War II went out, and then just I'm sure a lot of other work in between wars. So that's, I think, largely why my family ended up in the area, and I think there were a lot of Scots. And I used to, when I was a young bagpiper and I first learned, there's a church around from where I live, and they'd always have these like Robert Burns dinners, which are these Scottish things where you eat haggis, and usually there's a show. So they'd hire me, and it was just old people at that point. So I don't know how much like the real Scottish community is left, or if it's dissipated and just merged with everyone else.
Well, that whole like opportunity, let's go, that immigration path is sort of dried up, maybe.
Sure.
Or if they're still coming over, there's the whole different industries and different opportunities and more places to go.
Yeah.
But right now we need people that are like, everyone had their thing, you
Yep.
know, and then it's like, this is what you do. Well, we need you here. So was it your grandparents' generation that was the first to come to America?
My great grandfather
Uh-huh.
came over, and he was pretty. I think he was like 8 years old or something. So,
Yeah.
and I guess from what my dad said, I'd never met him, but I think my dad was very close with his grandfather. He very much embraced the idea of being American, and he loved America so much
Yeah.
that they never really. I don't think he asked his parents a ton about, and I don't know how much he remembered about being in Scotland until he was 8. So we kind of lost a lot of like whatever history we might have had. So, but yeah, he was the first generation. Then my grandparents, my dad, and then me and my brothers.
Do you have any family still over there?
We don't even know where we were from.
Okay, so this is part of the the history sort of kind of wasn't written or verbally passed down.
Definitely wasn't verbally passed
because we're
down,
Americans now.
Yep, that's what happened. And my older brother does some genealogy, so I'd like to chat with him about it because I used to be I'm still fascinated in a lot of this stuff.
Sure.
So I'd like to hear it. Because I'm not even sure whereabouts. I know that the McArthur Pipers, I don't think we're direct lineage, at least to the ones that I was able to research.
Yeah.
But we probably have common ancestors back then. And yeah, I went to one time I was in Scotland. There's like an old monument to the McArthur Pipers on a cliff somewhere, and I visited that just to be like, cool.
That is cool.
But yeah, I'm not really sure. I wish I knew. I'd love to know more. I'm going in August again too. It'd be fun to actually know oh, this is and maybe there's some relatives, and maybe one of them's a bagpiper or something.
Yeah, right. Cool. Well, just look up McArthur. How many could there be?
Yeah, right.
That's fascinating. So when you were at that world competition, was it in Glasgow?
Yep. Yeah. Always in Glasgow. Yeah.
How big was the audience for that?
Massive. It's huge.
Are we talking tens of thousands? Like
potentially?
Stadium?
I think so. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's on Glasgow Green, which is just their giant mega field where they hold events and stuff. And it's
like I don't know how many festival.
I don't know how many different competition areas there are that all have their own bleachers and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot because there's like the grade 1 bands, which are the best bands from all over the world. They come from South Africa, New Zealand, anywhere. A lot
you
in
said
Scotland.
40. There's 40 of them.
This was years ago. Last time I checked, but there was a ballpark at the time, 40-ish.
Many.
And some of them come and go, and some of them have been around for 100 plus years. But then there's grade 2 bands, so that's even larger. And then 3, and then there's like slews of grade 4s and 5s that just decide they want to go to the world championships and compete.
Yeah.
So there's so many bagpipers and drummers, like way more than anywhere else ever. And then the crowd, the BBC is always there, and they have cameras on cranes swinging around. BBC Scotland, I don't think they'd make it onto the main British news organization. The silly Scots doing their funny little bagpipe competition, But yeah, so it's a big event. It's cool. If you just Google World Bagpipe Band Championships, there's footage all over YouTube for years, Yeah. It's a wild time. It's fun.
I have this impression now. I mean, Scotland is a small little country. It's part of 4 countries all, you know what I mean? Like Great Britain is Glasgow is the only place I think that the average person could be like, oh yeah, I'm familiar.
Probably, yeah, maybe Edinburgh, but probably Glasgow.
Oh yeah, sure. That's the capital, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, everyone knows Braveheart. Everyone knows a little bit about stuff. I think there's a Simpsons character that was Scottish, right?
What's his name? Groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah, Groundskeeper
Willie.
Who
is great.
Yeah. What I gathered from this experience was genuinely good-natured people that they respect authority, but they don't they're not abdicating a religious like the whole traffic cone thing. I was looking this up. I was like,
story's great.
I'm like, what is this all about? And it's like, what does it mean? What does it represent? And it's like, oh, their approach to authority. Like, dude, these are my people.
It's so cool.
Really love this.
Yeah,
they were.
Definitely.
And other than the Miami cop who was like, hey, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
I mean, the police
Which was lame.
Yeah, the police chief was like, no, we're good. Let's
did he actually?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then he went. He got his picture taken and stuff and did a thing with them.
Cool. It's good to hear that happen because when I first saw that, I was like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Didn't they watch the news of how good it's been up here?
Right. Well, they were a little late with getting the memo, but when they did
that's good to hear.
That chief really corrected.
Yep.
And in Little Havana, he really made it
cool.
Put him on everything. So that was really cool.
That's great.
But I got to be honest, I didn't know anything about it. And when I first saw I think it maybe is the George Washington statue in the Boston Common. And I'm like, I wasn't, offended or what are they doing? That's, they're defacing it. But I was like,
Yeah, what is
Who
this?
can do that? Like if I tried to do that, like what is this? You know? And
Yeah.
then it's like it is funny. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
it looks funny. It looks like a dunce cap on
Yeah.
on the guy
Yeah.
that founded the nation.
Yeah.
And then it's on everything.
Yep,
And then it's like,
everything's-
and now we all know everything about it.
Yep.
And I just love it. Who's
Such a
the,
cool
who's
phenomenon.
the what is the statue
In Glasgow,
in Glasgow that
Duke of Wellington.
Duke of Wellington, and just that story.
So
Just
funny.
a recap is like someone would put it on, authorities would take it off, someone would put it back on. It just kept going, and the authorities are like, "All right, we're done. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
just
good,
fine.
No harm, no foul."
Yep. And now they're part of it. Apparently, if there's like if it's Pride Month or something, they'll put like a Pride cone.
Yeah.
And like the government's doing that. So that if you've seen, I don't know if you've seen the pictures now after like the whole Boston Tartan Army things passed, there was a Boston road cone on the Duke of Wellington's head, and that was like done by the government apparently to like
That's
commemorate.
great.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, good
The
sense
whole
of humor.
Tartan Army thing is just awesome. I just like embrace it. So I like I said before, I don't like doing social media. Just every time
Sure.
I say, "Oh, I got an idea." Okay, I have to like set up my camera. Okay, I'm by myself, recording myself, saying a thing that I think is funny for clout.
Yep,
It's just
Yeah.
everything about it I hate.
I understand.
But I did want to do a thing where I bought a like Scotland shirt.
Oh, cool.
Like I had to get one. It's
Yeah.
a knockoff from CVS. It was
Sure.
like $16. Like how can you say no?
Perfect.
And I bought a cone.
Nice.
And I put the cone on and I wear the shirt and I just basically with like some Sarah McLachlan sad song. I'm like, guys don't go,
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
you, like all that stuff. And for me, it did great, like over 20,000 likes.
Excellent.
But like 80,
great.
all the comments are from Scots
Yep.
that either were here or they didn't come here, but they're inviting me to go there. Like, you should
cool.
come here. And
Yeah.
and like just the exchange. And then I would
That's
like,
great.
and I never comment on the comments, but this one I was like, I'm like to my
Engage with
wife,
people.
I'm like, Leslie, I just made like 70 pen pals. Like I
That's
want
so
to go to
cool.
Scotland.
Yeah, you
Just-
should. I recommend it.
There's such great people.
Yeah, yeah, very friendly and just obviously good sense of humor, and they know how to party. It's tons of fun.
Yeah, and I didn't see one story of public disorderly conduct,
I don't think there was
drunkenness, violence.
Yep.
I mean, come on, that much alcohol was consumed and not one dust up. I mean,
literally. Yeah, they know what they're
not
doing.
not worthy of like making the news
Yeah.
or word of mouth or seeing anything on social media. All I saw was camaraderie and togetherness and unity.
Yep.
And,
Even with the other fans, like the other clubs fans. The Wednesday I was in front of the White Bull, which was that was when they were playing, or they weren't playing that day. I can't remember. I don't believe they were, but it was still a big day, party day, and they were playing Morocco on Friday, and there was a lot of Morocco fans. So the Scots are all like singing their chants, and I was playing, and they were, I was getting involved some of the time. And then there's a ton of Morocco fans, and they kind of like stood up on all these tables and started doing their own chants. And the Scots were like, listen and learn it and join in with them. And then the Moroccans were singing "No Scotland, No Party,"
yeah.
and they were like so respectful of each other's thing that it was like really like can't imagine that happening with American sports fans. Like look at like the Sox Yankees kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's like
right.
actual hatred.
Yeah. Actually, it's almost like their gang colors.
Yeah, exactly.
You walk into the Bronx with red. It's like, whoa, dude, it's not Bloods and Crips. It's
Yeah,
Red Sox,
exactly.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I have to give credit to ourselves as American hosts.
Mhm.
I was pleasantly surprised with how much we abdicated and stepped back and said, "Hey, enjoy your time here."
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And I mean, they were all entertaining, but
Yeah.
like we were really.
Yeah, they seem pretty happy
Cool.
about it too. Although to get back to the Sox Yankees thing, there were like a lot of the Scots who took trips to New York, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
little news things where they're like, "We're going back to Boston." And I was like, nice.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I
it's
heard
pretty
that.
cool.
When you think about it, though, like Boston has that European small
Yeah,
feel to
yep.
it, whereas New York is a grid and it's
Overwhelming, yeah.
a canyon. Like it's
Yeah,
like you don't
yeah.
even see the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I love New York, but yeah.
yeah, I do too.
But yeah.
But I feel like they felt like they're probably more at home
Yeah, I agree.
because they
They're a
almost
cool
like
place.
neutralized the population with
Yep.
Americans to Scots and
Yep.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So fun, but
Yeah. So, it's stand-up scuttlebutt. You're a stand-up comic.
yes.
First, right?
Yep.
And we haven't even talked about that stuff.
That's funny, yeah.
Have you missed it? Have you missed the stand-up, or has this been a nice break?
I have missed it because this has taken my time away. Luckily, again, with things falling into place at the right time, summer's slower in general.
Yeah, right.
And to my own fault, like I'm so bad about sending avails, and I've been doing way better lately. But I've been on a little streak of like I really haven't. I said I was going to do it today, and piece of shit. Once again, I have not done it, and I think that kind of helps because I'm like, oh, I actually can do all these.
I've got some availability.
Yeah, and I'll if I have to skip an open mic. Oh, well, terrible.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's so sad.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to getting back. I have still had a couple of gigs here and there. I did a show this past weekend, and it was fun just getting a set in and trying to. I'm still trying to write some stuff to bring this in. I don't want to be. People always ask me like, "You ever going to do bagpipes in the comedy act?" And a lot of people like, "You have to. It's such an edge." And my response is the last thing I will ever want to be is the bagpiping comedian. I do not want to be the bagpiping comedian.
Explain that.
Because I want to talk about things that like I don't like a gimmick. If someone has a gimmick, that's good for them. I'm not criticizing other people, but for me, I want to actually just be like a legitimate stand-up comic. Go up there, talk about the things I talk about, my life experiences, and I do bring up bagpipes because that's part of my life, so I have jokes about it.
Yeah.
And it's something that people will remember, but I don't want it to become this thing, especially if like once I do it, like I think like that you can't put it back in the box at that point.
I was gonna say you can't show up without the pipes. It would be like you now you have a brand.
Yeah,
that you have to adhere to.
And I want to talk about whatever I'm dating's weird or something. Someone's like, bring out the bagpipes, asshole, and I'm like, all right, never mind. All these jokes I've been working on, never mind those. So. People always talk, especially a lot of the old timer guys in Boston. They're like, "You're crazy for not doing it." It's like,
oh,
maybe.
The old timers are saying
I've had some,
well, now
successful comedians tell me like, "You really should do this." I'm like, well, I don't know. I'd rather do it the way I want to do it, even if I'm less successful.
Dude, that's why I like personally. You're doing you're charting your own path. However,
yes, but
the fact that like some of the veteran Boston comics, the accomplished, the ones with the TV credits and stuff, are saying to you,
"Yep."
Hey,
I know.
Give it some thought.
There's a point to it.
Is there like maybe a compromise? Like maybe you'll end a set with the pipes?
I could, if I was like some kind of regular headliner, which I'm not, but if I was someone who is regularly doing 45 to an hour, I could see it being something that I would experiment with as long as it's relegated to like the end, and everyone who was, if I had fans, they would understand like I do stand-up comedy.
Yep.
And then I do the fun thing at the end. Just like, what's his name? Just like Gallagher brought out the water. He waited until the end to smash watermelons in your face. And now that I made that comparison, I'm like, oh, I still don't like it.
Well, you got like that. You said you're not a headliner yet, but you have headlined.
I have headlined a few times, yeah.
And I think you're funny. I think you're really funny.
Thank you.
You're writing like the open mic on Mondays at Cagney's and Quincy.
Yes.
You host it now, right?
Yes, it is. Okay. It's officially been passed down to me.
Okay, so you're now the host. I love like I have seen you fill in and host where you do like your 10 or something up front of new stuff, and I'm like, this is the new stuff he's been like. It's always like for new stuff. This is like, I think it's stage ready. Like it's pretty good.
Thank you. I try to, maybe I overthink stuff. A lot of times I won't try something until I feel like, not that it's done, but that it's got to be like a certain level of solid before I even pull it out. Which maybe is to my detriment. Maybe I should throw a little more spaghetti on the wall. But that does. I do find that happens at times. So like,
it's working for you. However you do it. I like the writing. Like I'm like, that's clever. That was witty. That was a good call. You got all these little like it's uniquely smart, funny, original shit, but also like just the way it just rolls off your tongue and the memorization of your newer stuff is impressive too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, memorization has always been something I'm lucky I didn't struggle with, whether it came to bagpipe music or like when I write jokes, usually, or even school and stuff. That was one thing I knew I was pretty good at. It's like I can learn this quick if I have to. So I think that served me pretty well.
I think maybe it's the music minded, like they say
perhaps
people that learn music are good mathematically or good, right? There's probably some correlation
maybe
there, right?
Very, very possible. Yeah. So,
or maybe you're just a smart person, and the things people with your skill set can do is remember stuff and achieve in school and play
Sure,
bagpipes,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, even if I'm not smart, maybe it's just the fact that I retain stuff for a little bit. I don't know. But
My parents, a long, long, long time ago, saw Bobcat Goldthwait.
Mhm.
And they came home and they were like, it was amazing. I'm like, how was the show? Like, I was maybe 10, I was
Sure.
a kid.
Yeah.
But I knew who he was because of Police Academy.
Police Academy movies,
right?
the character, yep.
Yeah, and that character, which
Yep.
is like, can be very grating on,
Sure.
some ears, right?
Sure, yeah.
I wouldn't be offended if someone said, I can't stand the guy. I could understand.
Sure, yeah.
But the cool thing that he did at the end of the show is he sang U2's With or Without You.
Mm-hmm.
And he sounded just like Bono. Like
really?
He showed the audience
That's cool.
and there was nothing funny about it. There was nothing.
Interesting.
He just left people with this feel good, like the guy can talk normal,
Yeah,
Not only
yeah.
that, but he can sing a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And so, what if like maybe you hold on to this for like, down the road, you get a special or something, and you're like, I'm doing 50 minutes, and the last 7 will be
Just
and
little bit of
you never, like you'll reference it, but no one's ever
expecting it to actually happen.
Yeah.
That's a thought.
That could be, because you got to kind of listen to these veteran comics that are saying,
they obviously have a point. So, yeah,
right? Like
I'm
they
sure
know what they're talking about.
Definitely,
like you should,
definitely.
But you do your thing. Like
I'll have to think about the way that I'm comfortable doing it. But you do make a good point that like it's the idea of completely shutting it down is probably
always
a little
say,
hasty.
Leave the back door open on that. At
Sure,
least,
yeah,
and then maybe inspo will hit, and you'll be like, I
Yeah.
got it, Eureka,
Or maybe I just get to the point where like I don't care if I'm hacky. I'm just I'm sick of the grind. I'm just gonna do this.
What if you were to go on like America's Got Talent? Would you rather go on as a bagpiper or a comic?
Probably as a comic, because as a bagpiper, I don't know like how I would differentiate myself in a way that I like to. There are a couple of like famous, I don't know if you know like Allie the Piper, if you've ever seen her. She's kind of social media big.
I have to concede, I don't know one piper except for you.
She's probably the only one that has any kind of bagpipe following. There's a lot of people, because she's like a very attractive young lady and a good player, and she'll play songs that you don't usually hear in the bagpipe. And I think her thing is like, does it bagpipe? This song, does it bagpipe? People send her requests, and she finds ways to like, convert them into a pipe tune if it's possible. Yeah,
that's a good.
So she's very
good
viral.
thing.
She came during at some point and performed on some big stage in Boston during the Tartan Army stuff.
Yeah.
And like has a viral video of her playing in front of Fenway and like rocking out. So there's those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. For what I actually care about the bagpipes, like very kind of, I don't want to say traditional, but they're in line with the culture of what's going on with bagpiping, whether it's traditional music or like contemporary music written for the bagpipe. But it's all kind of like part of the piping community. That's kind of what I care about.
I got you. There's standards and expectations, and you fall into them. Whereas stand-up comedy, it's like the rules are pretty broad, and the more you can be your own person,
sure,
right? There's more. I guess it's more reward for the creativity and
exactly,
and that kind of thing. Okay,
definitely. Although, who would do really well on America's Got Talent?
Who's that?
The bagpiping comedian.
Oh yeah, sure. That's right.
That's how I get on America's Got Talent. I sell out immediately.
Yeah, I was gonna say you would have like that 5 minutes.
Yep.
And it's kind of like remember like when an album would come out and you'd buy it because of that song, and then they had to make an album, so they just surrounded that awesome hit with like 7 pieces of shit.
Yep.
And you're like, I love that
So
song.
awesome.
It's like it's the third song on the first side of the tape, and you're like, God damn, I gotta rewind it.
Yep. I felt like I always felt that way about the music I experienced when I was young. Like the few cassettes that I did have, I was like, oh, it turns out that's the only song that I think's anywhere near good. Yeah. So that's funny. That's
totally
a normal experience.
Yeah. There's only like I had a short stack of tapes, albums, if you will, but that literally were like a great experience start to end. Like I'm like, oh, I just love the whole curated collection of music. So the 7, 8, 9 songs on here are all they're in the right order. They sound great,
Yeah,
but
sure.
most of the time it's like I like the first 3 songs and then the rest suck.
Yeah, the B side is like
the B side. It's like
the B side. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, but
all right. Well, what do you say? Is there anything else you want to like? I've never interviewed a bagpiper comic, not
Yeah.
bagpiper / also a comic.
Comedian.
Yeah,
There you go.
comedian. Is there anything I'm overlooking, glossing over that you're like, oh, you should know about this? Like when it comes to bagpipes.
Nothing you need to know. If you wanna like open Pandora's box, make the mistake of getting me to really start talking about it, then you would regret it. Unless it's like I want to hear but like I could go into the nitty gritty stuff that I think the viewership will drop at that point of the podcast. Maybe.
All right. Well, then how about this? If somebody wants to say, okay, I'm intrigued. I want to listen to some good bagpiping music. Who do you recommend? Like who could we listen to?
Let's see. If you want to hear like cool pipe band music, because it's the modern pipe band world is very different than what people would think. It's not, might not sound it to you if you're as a layman, but it's again not just a bunch of like parade tunes you can whistle to. There's some cool musical stuff happening and like sophisticated musical stuff.
Yep.
So the kind of the top band in the world technically right now is called Inverarian District Pipe Band. And they're out of Scotland, but they have some player. My friend who formerly headed my band plays with them. He lives here, but he flies out a couple times a year and does the big contest.
Cool.
So if you hear anything from them, like listen to Inverarian District Pipe Band Medley. Medley is kind of the most modern event in bagpiping where you can take traditional tunes, take contemporary stuff, do crazy harmonies and time signature change, like very musical stuff.
Yeah.
So that's fun to listen to. There was this piper no longer with us, but his name was Gordon Duncan. If you look up anything by Gordon Duncan, he was kind of played traditional stuff, but also like really wacky modern compositions that are cool. And you can just tell like he's a whiz, like his hands are like lightning. It's really cool stuff to hear. If you want to hear what the nerdy side of bagpiping is, if you want to get into it.
So I keep hearing traditional, like traditional. And is there new original music coming out?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay,
constantly.
All right.
Actually, if you want to see something really wonky, there's this kid Lincoln Hilton. I believe he's from Australia, and he's like a top tier player. But he does a lot of modern compositions that are just like catchy and cool and badass. He sometimes doesn't even play them on the pipes. There's this thing called a practice chanter, which is what you learn on initially. Kind of sounds much more mellow. It looks like a recorder. So when you start bagpipes, you learn on that, and then when you're ready for a big one, at least you have the foundation of how to play. But you never put away your practice chanter. You practice on it all the time. Work on exercises or if you can't play a bagpipe, like I'm in my apartment, I can't play my bagpipe there.
Too loud.
So he does some cool stuff like recordings of him where there'll be like 4 shots of him playing harmonizing over stuff. And it's super modern, like nothing to do with old school piping music, and just cool, like really fun to listen to. So
that is awesome.
So worth checking out. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that we should, wrap it up, and then you can play us out.
Sure.
Like, we'll say goodbye, and then we'll go outside and play us a couple minutes or whatever.
Sure.
Okay. Is there anything you want to plug before we go? Anything coming up? Anything you want to?
I don't think so. I don't have much going.
What's your Instagram again? Tell me what your Instagram is.
It's Matt McSomething. So just MC something. No G at the end.
Okay. All right. So for Matt McSomething, Matt McArthur, I'm Rick Fink Jr. This is Stand Up Scuttlebutt. We'll catch you next week.